What if the secret to feeling fresher, more confident, and more comfortable in your own skin as a senior was as simple as washing one specific spot on your body that 99% of people overlook? We all know that as we age, our bodies change, sometimes in ways we don't expect and definitely don't talk about enough. One of those changes can be a subtle shift in how we smell. It's not something anyone likes to bring up, but if you've ever caught a whiff of an unfamiliar odor around yourself or an older loved one, you're not alone. It's a real thing, and it's more common than you'd think. Scientists call it nanino, a compound that builds up on the skin as we get older, giving off what some describe as a musty, greasy, or even faintly stale scent. It's not about poor hygiene or neglecting a shower. It's a natural part of aging that happens to almost everyone after 60. But here's the good news, you don't have to live with it. In this video, we're diving deep into the one spot on your body where this odor hides, why it happens, and how washing it properly can make a world of difference, not just for how you smell, but for how you feel every single day. This isn't about vanity, it's about reclaiming your confidence, staying social, and keeping life enjoyable well into your later years. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly where to focus your efforts, how to clean it effectively, and why 99% of people miss this simple trick that could change everything. Stick around until the end, because we'll also share a few bonus tips to keep that freshness locked in. No fancy products or complicated routines required. Let's get started and uncover the spot that's been hiding this secret from you all along. Picture this, you're out with friends, maybe grabbing coffee or chatting at a family gathering, and you feel great, new shirt, hair's in place, you're ready to enjoy the moment. But then, out of nowhere, you catch it, a faint, odd smell that wasn't there before. You check your shirt, your breath, even sneak a sniff under your arm, but nothing seems off. Yet it's there, lingering, and it's enough to make you second-guess yourself. Has anyone else noticed? Are they just too polite to say anything? For seniors, this isn't just a random fluke, it's a sneaky little reality tied to how our skin changes with age. That smell, that nanino we mentioned, isn't your fault. It's not about skipping a shower or forgetting deodorant. It's a chemical shift that happens as our bodies produce less of the natural oils that keep skin balanced and more of the stuff that breaks down into this stubborn odor. And here's the kicker. It doesn't come from the usual suspects like your armpits or feet. It hides in a spot most people don't even think to scrub properly. A spot that, if you ignore it, becomes the perfect breeding ground for this aging scent to take hold. So where is it? It's the back of your neck. Yep, that little area right under your hairline, stretching from ear to ear, where your skin folds just slightly and sweat, oil, and dead skin cells can quietly build up. It's out of sight, out of mind, and for 99% of people, out of their washing routine. But once you know it's there, and once you know how to tackle it, you'll wonder why no one's talking about this sooner. Let's break it down. Why this spot, why it matters, and how to wash it right so you can kick that odor to the curb for good. First, let's talk about why the back of your neck is such a hot spot for this unpleasant smell. As we age, our skin doesn't work the way it used to. Back in your 20s and 30s, your body pumped out a steady mix of oils and antioxidants that kept everything in check. Your skin stayed soft, supple, and odor-free without much effort. But after 60, things shift. Your sebaceous glands, the tiny oil factories in your skin, start producing less of those protective lipids and more of a fatty acid called palmitoleic acid. When this acid mixes with oxygen and breaks down, it turns into 2-nonenal, that musty compound we've been talking about. It's not sweat, it's not dirt, it's chemistry. And the back of your neck? It's like a perfect storm for it. Think about it. It's a spot that's warm, often covered by hair or a collar, and rarely sees the light of day. Sweat gets trapped there, oils seep out, and dead skin cells pile up because it's not a place you naturally scrub when you're rushing through a shower. You might soap up your face, your chest, your underarms, maybe even give your feet a quick rinse, but that little strip of skin behind your head? It's forgotten. And over time, that buildup turns into a faint but noticeable scent that clings to you, your clothes, even your pillow. Studies out of Japan, where this phenomenon was first identified, found that nonenal levels spike after age 40 and keep climbing, especially in areas like the neck and upper back where skin folds and traps moisture. It's not just a Japanese thing. It's universal, hitting men and women alike as hormones settle and skin metabolism slows. For seniors, it's a double whammy because our skin also thins and dries out, making it harder to slough off that buildup naturally. So while you're not doing anything wrong, this spot is working against you, unless you take charge and wash it the right way. Now, let's get to the story of Margaret, a 67-year-old from Michigan who stumbled onto this secret by accident. Margaret was always meticulous about her hygiene, daily showers, nice soaps, even a spritz of perfume before heading out. But a few years ago, she started noticing something off. It wasn't strong, not like body odor, but a faint, stale smell that seemed to follow her around. She'd ask her husband, "Do I smell funny?" And he'd shrug, saying he didn't notice, but she did. It gnawed at her confidence. She tried switching deodorants, washing her clothes more, even changing her diet, thinking maybe it was something she ate. Nothing worked. Then one day, while visiting her daughter, her little grandson piped up after a hug, "Grandma, your neck smells funny." Kids, no filter, right? Margaret was mortified but curious. She went home, grabbed a mirror, and took a closer look at the back of her neck. Sure enough, under her hair, the skin looked a little dull, a little oily, nothing dramatic, but enough to make her wonder. That night, she scrubbed it with a washcloth and her usual soap, really digging in where she'd never bothered before. The next day, that smell? Gone. She couldn't believe it. She kept it up, washing that spot every day, and within a week, she felt like a new person, not just fresher, but lighter, more herself. Her daughter noticed too, saying, "Mom, you seem perkier lately." Margaret's no dermatologist, but she'd cracked the code. That overlooked patch of skin was the culprit, and a little extra attention was all it took. Her story's not unique. Once you know where to look, the fix is simple, but most people never figure it out because no one's pointing it out. So how do you wash this spot properly? It's not rocket science, but it's more than just letting water run over it in the shower. The back of your neck needs deliberate care. Think of it like cleaning behind your ears as a kid, only now it's a grown-up priority. Start with warm water, not hot, because scalding your skin can dry it out and make things worse. Warm water opens up the pores just enough to loosen what's stuck there. Grab a mild soap, nothing harsh or scented, just a gentle cleanser that won't strip your skin bare. Bar soap's fine, liquid's great, whatever you've got, as long as it's not loaded with chemicals that'll irritate you. Lather it up in your hands or on a soft washcloth. Don't use anything scratchy like a loofah, because senior skin's thinner and you don't want to scrape it raw. Now reach back there. Tilt your head forward a bit so you can really get in under the hairline, from one ear to the other, and down to where your neck meets your shoulders. Rub gently but firmly. Imagine you're polishing a delicate piece of glass. You're not just wiping off surface dirt, you're breaking up that oily film where naninol hides. Spend a good 20 or 30 seconds on it, longer than you'd think, because this spot's sneaky. Rinse it well, making sure no soap's left behind, because residue can trap more gunk later. Pat it dry with a clean towel. Don't rub hard, just blot it so the skin stays happy. That's it. Do this every day and you'll notice the difference fast, not just in how you smell, but in how you carry yourself. It's like hitting a reset button on your confidence. But why does this work so well? Let's dig into the science a bit more, because understanding what's happening under the surface makes it easier to stick with the habit. That naninol smell comes from a process called lipid peroxidation. Fancy term, simple idea. As your skin ages, those fatty acids we talked about oxidize, like how butter goes rancid if you leave it out too long. Normally, your body's antioxidants, like vitamin E and those youthful oils, keep this in check, neutralizing the damage before it turns into a smell. But after 60, your antioxidant levels drop and your skin's natural defenses can't keep up. The back of your neck is especially vulnerable because it's a warm, sheltered spot, perfect for this chemical reaction to brew. Sweat adds moisture, hair traps it, and dead skin cells pile on, creating a little odor factory you don't even see. Regular soap and water alone won't cut it if you're just skimming the surface. You've got to break through that layer of buildup. That's why scrubbing gently but thoroughly with a washcloth matters. It lifts off the dead skin and oil that water alone can't touch. Studies from the Shiseido Research Center in Japan, where nonenal was first pinned down, showed that consistent washing of these odor zones reduced detectable levels of the compound by up to 50% in just a few days. It's not a cure, your body's still going to make nonenal, but it keeps it from sticking around and announcing itself to the world. And for seniors, that's a game changer, not just for your nose, but for your social life, your peace of mind, everything. Let's pause for a second. If you're still with me and finding this helpful, drop number 1 in the comments below to let me know you're here. I'd love to see who's sticking around for this deep dive. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and turn on the bell. We've got more practical tips like this coming your way, and I don't want you to miss out. Your support keeps this channel rolling, so let's keep the momentum going. Now, let's talk about why 99% of people miss this. It's not because they're lazy or don't care. It's because no one's taught us to look there. Think about your shower routine. You've got your go-to spots: face, armpits, maybe a quick swipe down your chest or legs. It's muscle memory built up over decades. The back of your neck? It's not on the radar. You might feel the water hit it, assume it's clean, and move on. Plus, it's awkward to reach. Your arms don't bend that way naturally, and mirrors don't exactly help unless you're craning your neck like a contortionist. And let's be real, who's going to tell you? Your spouse might not notice, your friends won't say a word, and your doctor's too busy checking your blood pressure to mention it. Society doesn't talk about aging odors. It's taboo, embarrassing, something we'd rather pretend doesn't exist. But it does, and ignoring it doesn't make it go away. Take John, a 71-year-old from Texas. He was a social butterfly, church groups, golf outings, you name it. But he started pulling back, feeling self-conscious about a smell he couldn't pin down. He'd shower twice a day, load up on cologne, nothing helped. Then his barber, of all people, mentioned offhand, "You know, I've noticed some folks get a little funky back here," pointing to his neck. John went home, scrubbed it good that night, and the next day, he felt like a weight lifted. He was back on the golf course by the weekend, laughing with his buddies again. It's not that people don't care, they just don't know. And once you do, it's like flipping a switch. Oh, what happens if you don't wash this spot? It's not the end of the world, but it's not pretty either. That nonenal doesn't just sit there, it builds up. Day after day, the oils and dead skin compound, and the smell gets stronger, not overpowering but enough to linger in close quarters. It can seep into your clothes, especially collars, making even fresh laundry carry a hint of it. Your pillow's another casualty. Sleep on it night after night, and that stale scent gets baked in, greeting you every morning. Worse, it's a confidence killer. You might not smell it all the time. Our noses get used to our own scents, but others can, and that nagging worry can make you shrink back from hugs, conversations, everything that keeps life rich. For seniors, staying connected is vital. Studies show social isolation cuts years off your life, and this little odor can push you toward it without you even realizing. Look at Susan, a 69-year-old from Oregon. She loved her book club, but she started skipping it, convinced she didn't fit in anymore. Her daughter finally asked why, and Susan admitted she felt off odor-wise. Her daughter watched her shower routine one day, neck ignored, and showed her how to scrub it. A week later, Susan was back at book club, chatting away. It's not just about smell, it's about staying in the game. But washing's just the start. Let's layer in a few bonus tricks to keep that freshness locked in, because once you've got this spot under control, you'll want to make sure it stays that way. First, dry it well. After your shower, don't just let it air dry. Pat it with a towel, especially under the hairline where moisture loves to hide. Wet skin's a magnet for bacteria, and that can add its own funk to the mix. Second, switch to a cotton shirt or scarf during the day if you sweat a lot. Synthetics trap oil and odor, while cotton breathes and wicks it away. Third, once a week, try a gentle exfoliation. Mix a little baking soda with water, rub it on with your washcloth, and rinse. It's not harsh, but it sloughs off extra dead skin that soap might miss. No need for fancy scrubs. Keep it simple. And if you're feeling bold, a drop of tea tree oil diluted in water after washing can act like a natural antiseptic. Just test it first, because senior skin can be sensitive. These aren't must-dos, just extras to level up your game. The real magic's in that daily wash. but these keep the odds in your favor. Let's circle back to why this matters beyond just smelling good. Confidence isn't a small thing when you're over 60. You've earned your place in the world, decades of work, love, lessons, and you deserve to feel good showing up as you. That faint odor? It's not you, it's just biology playing a trick. But once you know how to outsmart it, you're back in control. Think about George, a 73-year-old from Florida. He'd retired from teaching, but he still volunteered at the library, reading to kids. Lately, though, he'd felt off, less sure of himself, worried he smelled old. His wife caught him sniffing his shirt one day and laughed, "It's not your shirt, it's your neck." She handed him a washcloth, stood there while he scrubbed, and the next day, George was back at the library, grinning ear to ear. The kids didn't care, but he did. He felt like the sharp, lively guy he'd always been. That's what this is about, not letting a little thing steal your spark. The back of your neck might seem trivial, but it's a gateway to feeling fresh, present, alive. So how often should you do this? Every day. Consistency's the key. Aging doesn't pause, and neither should your routine. Morning or night, whenever you shower, make it non-negotiable. It takes 30 seconds, tops. Less time than brushing your teeth, but the payoff lasts all day. And don't stop at the neck. Once you've got this down, check other spots like behind your ears or under your collarbone. They're not as big a deal, but they can pitch in if you're not careful. The point is, this isn't a chore, it's a gift to yourself. You're not just washing away an odor, you're washing away doubt, hesitation, that little voice that says, maybe I shouldn't go out today. Look at Anna, an 80-year-old from New York. She'd always been a socialite, dinners, theater, the works. But she started declining invites, blaming it on tiredness. Really, it was that faint smell she couldn't shake. Her granddaughter read about Naninal online, showed her this trick, and Anna gave it a shot. 2 weeks later, she was back in her element, dressed up, laughing, living. She told her granddaughter, "I didn't realize how much I'd missed this." That's the power of a small change. Let's wrap this up with a final thought. 99% of people don't know this because aging's full of secrets we're left to figure out on our own. That unpleasant odor specific to seniors? It's not your destiny, it's just a spot you've missed. The back of your neck's been hiding it, but now you've got the tools to take it down: warm water, mild soap, a washcloth, and a little intention. It's not about fancy products or hours in the bathroom, it's about knowing where to look and doing it daily. You'll feel the difference, and others might too, even if they don't say it. Confidence, connection, comfort, it all starts here. If you've got a loved one over 60, share this with them, they'll thank you later. Start small, try it tonight, see how you feel tomorrow. Every wash builds toward a fresher you. Thanks for sticking with me today. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with one thing you learned or how you'll use this tip. Your thoughts keep me going, and I read every one. If this helped, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Your support keeps us bringing you real, life-changing ideas. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.